Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean, this is In The Mix, episode 105 of our FC Isle of Man series. Happy Friday, wherever in the world you're watching from. Even if you're not watching this one on Friday, if you're checking it out in a playlist or on the weekend or whatever else, welcome. I hope you've had a great week. We are humming along nicely. We're about to hit the halfway stage of our first season in the Premier Division. Things are going alright. Not like setting the world on fire, not defying too many expectations, but things are going okay. We might as well jump straight in and have a look at our recent results and the games that we've got coming up today. So, as you guys can see, just above my head here, we just sneak into the table in 12th position. 18 games played, 5 wins, 6 defeats, 6 draws, and 7 defeats, -4 goal difference for 21 points, which is great. Our 19th game of the season will be the halfway point of the year. If we're already on like 21, 22, 24 points, if we get that win, then we are on good shape to try and get well and truly beyond the 40-point margin that everyone calls like safety. But at the same time, it's also giving us like a good gap between these teams down towards the bottom of the division. You guys can't see them, but the bottom 3 at the moment are Wolves on 11 points, Southampton on 11 points, and Leicester on 8 points. If I was a smart man, I could have showed you in this view where you would have seen the entire thing, but I am not. Because of that, and because we've kind of been in spotty form here and there, with like some tough runs of fixtures throughout the course of the season, 2 very, very big games where we want to try and get maximum points if they're available for us. We're going to play Norwich in 13th, 1 position behind us, and Southampton, who are down in those relegation spots, who we have already beat this season 4-1 in perhaps our most comprehensive victory of the year to date. Now, of course, in yesterday's episode, if you haven't gone to check that one out, go and watch it. We did play Tottenham and Liverpool, both defeats, 2-1 to Tottenham and then 3-1 to Liverpool. We did turn around with a great 3-0 victory against Leicester. Lionel Altamiranda, our wonder kid, was absolutely fantastic up top, getting a double, and Winter put the sealer on after coming off the bench in the 92nd minute. We then drew 1-1 with Brighton, a very good Brighton side who I think are still sitting up towards the European places at the moment. They're in 5th spot. I think they were 4th at the time when we played them. So a decent point and a decent performance against them. We then lost 3-1 to Arsenal. We actually took a lead in the 52nd minute. I tried to go positive to keep possession and they torched us in the last 15. Nahul Rubido, who looks to be a very, very good 21-year-old striker, just absolutely tore us apart. 19 dribbling, it jumps out at you there. You can see how he got that hat-trick as quickly as he did. But, you know, Arsenal are a good side. We shouldn't complain too much. We then had a 1-1 draw against Leeds where we again took a lead and then just struggled to defend it a little bit. We didn't try the possession style. Once we took that lead, we stayed on attacking. And I think it did burn us. Max Sandro with a tap home after Kubis spilt a shot. We beat Aston Villa, one of the sides down in the relegation spots, which is great. One of those proper like relegation 6-point games. 1-0, Aguirre with a lovely counter-attack, Altamiranda getting involved again with the assist, and hopefully we can put in a nice little run of form and try and get 3 points against Norwich and Southampton respectively to push us through and give a bit more distance between those other sides around us in the table. As far as the squad's concerned, no massive issues at the moment. Escobar does have an injury, it's just a cold, he's expected to be out for a few more days. Jimmy Winter has had a knock, but to be honest, the last couple of games where we've done alright, we've been playing the 2 Colombians. Mauricio Rosero on the right wing, cutting in on his favoured left foot. He's been doing quite well. You can see his current ability is only 2-star, but he's been playing pretty well in most of the games that we've given him an opportunity. And Londono is finally back from injury. He was out for a good few weeks, but makes his way back into the side, and hopefully he'll continue what was a decent little start to the season for him in the first few games. He's just finally back at full fitness now, so you'll hopefully get to see both the Colombians in full flight on either wing. Otherwise, the lineup is pretty much the same, so we might as well jump straight forward to the game against Norwich and have a look at both lineups. So first, running through our team, Kubis, of course, in goal. Sigurdsson will play as the left-sided centre-back. Greisinger will come in alongside him, the American international, now 21 years of age. We do have an additional wonder kid. I forgot to mention it at the start. Escobar is now a wonder kid, a central defensive wonder kid, which is very rare to see, but he is out with that cold. Good Life and Ben Shop as the 2 fullbacks. Torp and Barbosa will anchor midfield, both with yellow card suspensions hovering over them. We did drop Torp for a little bit and brought the Wolf back in for a couple of games. The Wolf played, I think, the win and then the match against Arsenal, and he really struggled in the game against Arsenal. So we brought Torp back in to try and continue his development. Aguirre, a highest average rated player for the season, plays at the 10. Londono and Rosero, the Colombians, on the wings, and Altamiranda, our leading scorer, leading the line up top. Looking over at the Norwich lineup, they've still got quite a few holdouts from the original database. Tomas Esteves, Portuguese right back, 29 years of age, comes through the Porto Academy. He's had quite the career at Newcastle, CSKA Moscow, and now Norwich this season. He looks a decent right back option. And Cousins, who's come through Bayern Munich, a young French player at the start of the database. He will have been at FC Bayern. He then went to Inter in this game universe and has been at Norwich now for a season as well. He looks fairly solid. 17 passing, 18 technique, pretty decent, and a world-class midfielder. Not a bad pickup from them. They've got Kaká, not that one, a different one on the left wing, 29-year-old Brazilian. Was it Fluminense and Santos? That's actually really weird. How does he have an actual... I think this might be a regen that actually has their own kit pack, maybe because of a clash in the kit pack we're using, because he only started his career in 28-29, so that can't be actually him. But he did also play for Fluminense, so I don't know what's going on with that one. That's very strange, but he looks fairly solid as well. Van der Heide is a left winger from Heerenveen. They're playing him over on the right. Maybe we can use that to our advantage, but he looks very good as well. 20 agility, 16 crossing and dribbling, 18 first touch. He looks to be very technically gifted. And the guy here in the middle, Escalante, the regen that we'll highlight, he's their leading assist maker for the season. A Honduran international, which you don't see a lot of. £55 million value. He's been at Borussia Dortmund, then Saint Etienne, Man City, and now Norwich. So he's had quite the career himself. But they've got some good players. They are only one spot behind us in the table, and they have had some decent results this season. Assertively, I'm going to say, come on, lads, show me what you can do. That hasn't quite worked. Let's assertively tell the defence we have faith in them. And as always, we're using our attacking mentality. We're playing at home. We want to try and get 3 points. And if we can, it may push us up to, or will help us secure 16th position on the table. Okay, so Gerderson has got a knock almost immediately. We don't have many defenders on the bench because Escobar, our other defender, is currently injured as well. So maybe Torp plays at centre-back. Oh, he's not great there, but he can do it. And then maybe we bring Ronnie Centre in as the deep line playmaker. Yep, let's go with that. I think that's the best we can do. Passionately, we've got faith in them. And it's not the best way to start the game, but if they score here, I'll be furious. Aguirre with the header away, and then a long clearance. Someone's got to get closer to Cuisance at the base of midfield here. Altamiranda does very well just doing his one-man press. Londono plays in Rosero, left-hand side. Can he cut back on his favourite foot? The shot is poor. Never really looked like challenging the goalkeeper, but at least we're getting highlights. I shouldn't complain. Highlight again here. Deep free kick for Norwich. We've left the line very high, and they've immediately just punted the ball over the top for Hannant to chase. Kubis with the first save, and Hannant gets the rebound for his first goal for the season. Very disappointing. It looked like I couldn't quite tell. It was one of those weird highlights where I couldn't tell where the ball was for a second. And then Mena just pops it over the top. It's the simplest football you ever see. Greisinger, who hasn't played or started that many games this season, gets caught goal side. And Kubis does very well with the first shot, but no one helps him out, and Hannant slams it home from the rebound. So 1-0 down. We're going to immediately use our demand more shout, because we'd expect more against a lower division side, or a lower side in the division. Corner taken in here. Guai with a good ball. It's made its way to Barbosa at the top of the box. Square ball across his paw. Hannant, the goal scorer, goes back to Rubens. Ben shot with a good header to recover possession. Greisinger sends it out wide right to Rosero, who will try and get back on his left foot. Finds Altamiranda now. Back to Barbosa. Now out wide to Londono. Good header across. Altamiranda finds him again, and he gets the strike away. Nondier Londono, only his second of the season, and his first goal back after a long injury layoff. And wonderful work again from Altamiranda a couple of different times in the exchanges of passes here. Barbosa with a good ball across. Londono heads it. Altamiranda knocks it down for him, and then he takes the touch, gets it on his right peg, smashes it back across the keeper, and maybe the keeper could have done a little bit better. I'm not going to complain though, as we find an equalising goal with about 15 minutes remaining. We're going to use our Get Creative shout. Let's see if we can't push on and try and find the go-ahead goal prior to half-time. 2 minutes to be added on here. We're through that time now. The referee calls half-time. So at half-time, six shots, 3 on target, 64% possession for us. They've had 2 and 36. But we do need to push on and try and find a winner. Passionately, I'm pleased with how things are going, and let's hopefully see if that can give everyone a bit of a kick up the backside to put the foot down and create some more chances. Got a highlight here. Ben shot with the throw-in on the right into Aguirre. Nice little exchange. His crossfield ball's poor. Van der Heide has picked it out, and we're 2v2 here at the back. Someone's got to go to the ball. No one does, and Van der Heide's gone all the way, and thankfully his drive just past the far post, letting us off the hook a little bit there. Deep free kick here again. Mena, it's where their first goal came from. He plays it forward this time to Cuisance. Now Rubens with a long ball forward. Greisinger should recover possession and plays it back to Torp, who so far has done okay as an auxiliary centre-back. Centre, now Good Life. Well, Van der Heide's won it back again. He's already proving difficult. He's had one great opportunity in the first half. At the first highlight of the second half. And that one, thankfully, at Kubis with an excellent save. We're through the hour mark now. Let's look at these subs. Who's struggling for match rating? Rosero hasn't had a great game. Might bring on Fessler. Good Life has struggled. We do have a new left back coming in January. Ben Shop has struggled as well. We might give Sean Dixon some time, and we'll hold off on that last sub for the last few minutes. Assertively, I have faith in you to get out there and make a difference. Let's also use our Get Creative shout. Van der Heide, ball across to Estevez, now to Mena. And Van der Heide again, pulling all the strings at the moment here in the second half. Dixon with the header away. Londono, I think, has just clipped him. If Londono picks up a yellow card, I will be furious. And he has. We've gone down to 10 men, seemingly for no reason. Thankfully, I didn't make all 3 subs. I have made all 3 subs because that's right. We, of course, had Sigurdsson go off in the first few minutes. And of course, once you make all 3 subs, Sports Interactive just sees fit to immediately give you a yellow card or a red card in the exact next highlight because you can never make 3 subs in this game. Okay, what are we going to do here? Alright, so here's the plan. Here's what I'm going to do. It's weird. It's outside the box. It's not something we've tried before. We're going to go to like a 4-3-2 with no left winger, but a complete wing back on attack on that left-hand side, which Good Life can do. But that's a big hole we're looking to measure there. Hopefully Aguirre will push on a little bit more. I thought about maybe dropping him back, but let's just add the extra man to midfield and centre and see how we go. That is just so typical of this game. And I was in a good mood before I started playing as well. That's the absolutely devastating part. If we get a late winner, I'll be happy and I'll forget all about it. But Jesus Christ, like it's just like clockwork sometimes with some of this cliche shit. Kubis with the ball, forward to centre. Greisinger plays it out right to Dixon. And you know what? It is partly my fault. I forgot we made that sub in the first 5 minutes. I know better than to use all of my subs with half an hour remaining. Torp now. Back to Kubis. Ball's pinballing around nicely at the back. Greisinger. Kubis again. Now Torp. We are keeping our calm, which is great to see. Ball forward to Ultra Miranda, who does very well to bring it down in traffic. Hasn't got a lot of support with him at the minute. He skips past a couple and gets not a bad effort just inside the near post. We've got 10 minutes remaining. We're going to use our demand more shout here. Let's see if we can't focus everyone through to half time. Set piece. Aguirre to take the corner. Goes straight in towards Torp, who flicks it on. It's hit the bar. Ultra Miranda picks up the rebound. And then, oh no, he's eventually pulled back for offside. But we're turning the screws a little bit here. It is a game that we would love to win. We haven't had a game or an episode in ages where we got 6 points. This is probably a good opportunity to do it. But just as I'm saying that, Van der Heide gets his strike away. Kubis with the clearance. Wilkins brings it down for Norwich. The highlight comes to an end. There's 3 minutes of additional time. We're going to see any additional highlights before we get through that. No, we're not. The referee calls full time. 10 shots, 3 on target, 64% possession for FC Isle of Man. Norwich, 11 shots, 6 on target, and 36% of the ball. They did have 11 men against our 10 for half an hour. Assertively, unlucky boys, just wasn't our day. That quest for 6 points, that's just... I'm just starting to think it's just not going to happen in this series at any point. So it does see us stay 12th. No change in the ladder, really, or in the table, I should say. Norwich stay in 13th place behind us. Thankfully, we have a far superior goal difference. I say that very arrogantly. We're -4 goal difference. They're -11. It's not great from either side. Youthful FC Isle of Man draw with Norwich. Londono gets the Man of the Match award for his fantastic goal. Sigurdsson's injured 4 to 5 weeks. That's a bit rough. And Londono is banned for 1 match for his sending off. So even though he got sent off, he still gets an 8.0 match rating. He was superb in front of goal. I don't know if I should be praising him, given that he sent us down to 10 men. That's just stupid on his part. And it does mean we will have to tweak a little bit. So we're probably going to bring Escobar back in. I assume he'll be fine for the game in 4 days' time against Southampton. I might also put Tyrone Taylor, having learnt my lesson, on the bench. And Rosero's last 5 games, only 6.56. We might have to bring in Fessler. Our wingers have struggled on both sides. That's very clear so far this season. Londono will also drop out, and Jimmy Winter will get the start in the next match due to that suspension. He should thankfully be fit and ready to go. Just in case, though, I'm going to give everyone a rest day. We've had quite a few games, and it is the Christmas period, so give everyone 1 rest day for tomorrow's game, and then we'll come back for the matches against Southampton. We'll jump forward to that now and look at the 2 lineups. Alright, just like that, we are a week ahead. I don't know why I've done this, but I've dropped Rosero for Fessler. I think I can only play the Colombians when they're both together. Don't ask me why, I can't explain it. But Kubis in goal. Escobar comes back in for the now injured Sigurdsson. Greisinger Keach's spot on the right-hand side. Goodlife and Benchop. Potentially maybe one of the last games for Goodlife, given that we do have a new left-back coming in. I'll show you guys him at the end of this match. Torp and Barbosa still managed to avoid yellow cards. It's been like that for, I feel like, 5 or 6 games recently, just avoiding that suspension. Aguirre at the 10, Winter comes in at left wing, Fessler comes in at right wing, Ultra Miranda, of course, leading the line up top. Southampton, interestingly, still have quite a few real-life players. Kepa Arrizabalaga, still one of them, 37 years of age now. Spent years at Chelsea. He's only just recently joined Southampton in the twilight of his career. Still a very good goalkeeper, but physically just absolutely wrecked. Ahead of him, they've got Gaston Avila, 30-year-old Argentine who starts at Rosario Central. He's been at Man United. He was at Boca, then Manchester United, then Real San Sebastian, which is Real Sociedad, Villarreal, and Southampton now for 2 seasons. Orkan Koçu, a Turkish midfielder from Feyenoord, still plugging away there in central midfield, and Callum Hudson-Odoi playing up top. Didn't quite hit the heights that I think we were expected by quite a few players in his career, but he's had a decent enough career. 6 years at Southampton now. And Almeida, so far, on the right-hand side, 34-year-old Portuguese player, is the player of the season so far for them. Highest average rating with 7. Actually, he doesn't. How does that? He's not made a Premier League start all season, so hopefully that means that Southampton are taking us a little bit lightly and we can belt the living piss out of them on the way to 3 points. Assertively, let's go and give the fans something to cheer. That didn't quite work. Assertively, I have faith in you. As long as Alta Miranda scores, that's pretty much all we need at the moment. But it would be a huge 3 points if we can get a good result. We've been in 4-1 last time out away from home, down at St. Mary's. Now, if we can get a similar margin here today, it might also help our goal difference quite a bit. It would be a massive achievement, I think, to get to 0 goal difference for the year. Ben shot with the ball here on the right-hand side in the first 5 minutes. Now Fessler cuts inside. Had a lovely little reverse pass there for Barbosa, which he didn't take. But Barbosa has the ball now on the right. Skips past one challenge. Goes again and gets the strike away from the angle. Didn't have much to work with, but didn't really ever look like trouble in the goalkeeper at the same time. Free kick from distance here for Southampton. Avila stands over it. It favours the left footer. It's clipped the post, and then Kubas thankfully gets back up on his feet and manages to pick that one up for the save. Deep free kick here. Aguirre sends it back post. Headed away, but Kreisinger will reset. He plays a ball back stick to Escobar. It's the 2 central defenders combining. I swear Kreisinger was shooting there, but Escobar was very alert to it. Manages to divert it into the back of the net. We'll check it out here in 3 dimensions. I'm sure Kreisinger pretends this is a wonderful ball in, but really, he just kicks the shit out of it. And Escobar, as brave as they come, the young Uruguayan wonder kid, heads that one home for a 1-goal advantage and puts us in a really good position. We're going to demand more here for the last 15 minutes. One, we want to try and keep that clean sheet. They were going to have a highlight, and then the demand more shout came through, just cancelling that out. But if we can get to half-time, it might give us something to effectively try and defend in the second half. 2 minutes to be added on here at the end of the first half. It's very even. 5 shots, 2 on target, 45% possession for us. 5 shots, 3 on target, 55% possession for Southampton. Now, here's where my head's at. Tactically, we don't really need to start attacking. They're going to come after us, you would think. So we're going to drop back down to positive, try and keep the ball a little bit more. We'll see how we go here. Assertively, we've got to guard against complacency now. We don't use that one often. Only Jimmy Winter is stressed out by it. But as always, we'll give it 15 minutes, have a look at everyone's form, fitness, performances, all that sort of stuff. Jimmy Winter really struggling, to be honest, so he's probably one of the first names to come off. We're through the hour mark now, so let's have a look at these subs. Winter has struggled, or Winter has come, however you want to say it for yourself. So we might bring Rosero on and play him in his favoured role as the inverted winger. And then we might switch Fessler over to the other side and play him as a winger on attack. He can get his left back around quite a few different things out there. Lars Torp hasn't played that great. We'll bring on the Wolf for a rare appearance at Premier Division level. And Goodlife hasn't played particularly well for quite a while. I know better. I'm learning my lesson from the last game. We're not going to make all 3 subs. Passionately, I have faith in you too. Get out there, and let's also use our Get Creative shout. See if we can't push on and try and find that ceiling goal. Wide free kick in by Aguirre towards back post. Greisinger flicks it on, and it's pinballed around again. Is that one going to be left? The linesman hasn't moved. I think it's going to get ruled out. They've ruled it out. Alta Miranda offside. It felt like Escobar got the last touch on it, but it is what it is. Deep free kick here. Kubas goes over the top to Ben Shop. The press is very apparent from Southampton. They are running right at the ball. Managed to play our way around it here. The Wolf sends it out left to Fessler, who has an overlapping fullback coming to join him. Instead, he goes to switch out to Rosero. We'll try and get to the byline line and cut it back. Backstick runner to Fessler. It's managed to clip the post. How have we not found the bottom of the net? The bottom of the net. The back of the net is the phrase. But good combination play from the 2 subs on the wings. We're going to demand more here in the last 10 minutes. I really want to get that second goal. Corner here. Aguirre to take. Goes back stick. It's pinballing around. And Escobar is at the double. Only his 3rd goal of the season. And I can't imagine he's got too many more for his career. But he's on course for almost a perfect hat-trick if he can find a left-footed strike. Aguirre puts a good ball in. I think it's Alta Miranda at the back there. Meshbury ends up heading it away, and Escobar just hacks it back in across the goalkeeper for the 2-goal advantage. We got any icing for this particular cake, boys? Can we add a 3rd? Aguirre skips past a challenge here, wide right. Square ball to Fessler, headed back across goal just beyond the far post. Decent little stretch of football that we're putting together here. 3 minutes to be added on now. Can we get through that? And we are indeed. 2-0 victors in the end. Escobar, our central defender, with the double. 13 shots, 8 on target, 47% possession. Southampton, 11 shots, 6 on target, 53% of the ball. Dressing room, passionately. Very pleased with the result in your performance, lads. Nothing to complain about there. Just kind of makes you think, if we had stayed as 11 men against Norwich, could we maybe have had 6 points this episode? Got that monkey off our back. But we stay in 12th spot. We're pretty much securing that position at the moment. 4 points clear of Norwich and Huddersfield on 21 points behind us. And just past the halfway stage, 6 wins, 7 draws, 7 defeats for a -2 goal difference and 25 points. If we get anywhere near 50 points, I will be absolutely thrilled for the season. Young FC Isle of Man shine against Southampton. Unsurprisingly, Escobar, a 9.01 match rating, gets the player of the match, and he was fantastic. So let's give him a little bit of praise. Now, a little bit of a bonus stuff. We're going to jump forward one day. We've got 2 new players that I'm going to show you guys that join us in the January transfer window. So just like that, we are a day ahead, and there's 2 new faces. The first, Brian Anunui, who we bought quite a little while ago from Toronto. 18-year-old Canadian left back with 19 caps to his name despite his young age. We're going to work him as being a wing-back on defend. Angham plays an attacking one. He's a complete wing-back by nature. I'm not going to use that role. I just don't enjoy it in this year's FM. But he's a big boy, 192 centimetres. I think he's not going to grow too much taller. But at 18, it's impossible to tell. Left-footed player, of course, playing on that side. We've got him for a few years. We paid absolute bugger all for him. £4 million for a player of that age with that higher potential level, I think is quite good. The other one that's joined us is Eldon Hadzovic, who comes across from Germany. He looks a little bit like the Wolf. He's effectively replacing the Wolf. We're going to try and train him up as a deep-lying playmaker on defend. Just as back up to last talk, you can see 16 technique, 17 teamwork, 16 composure, 15 determination. I think he's going to turn into quite the handy player. 2-star current ability, only 4-star potential, which is a little bit disappointing. Again, a player that we bought 3 years ago when he was 16, hoping that he might improve. £1.2 million paid, not a horrific result. If we do try and push him on after a year, that will be absolutely fine as well. We're going to get them both in the starting lineup for, I think, the next game that we've got, which is our FA Cup game against Port Vale. We'll, of course, play that one off screen. I'll try not to burp while I'm talking or directly into the microphone at any point, because knowing editor Sean, he won't have noticed that. He'll have just left that in. As far as the rest of the transfer window is concerned, we don't have a tremendous amount that we're actually able to do. There's a few wonder kids that we're keeping an eye on. There's a few prospects for the future we're keeping an eye on. We do need to try and bring in more English talent, which is what a lot of these players on the shortlist actually are. We might have a look at 1 or 2 of them, but in reality, I don't think there's much that we're going to do. We're probably going to hold off, secure our Premier League status, and then hopefully have a little bit higher reputation, a little bit more money to work with in the end of season transfer window, which will help us quite a bit. But you can see there's quite a few good players here. This Francois guy looks magnificent, but we don't really need a number 10. Hateboa might be the solution for us on that left wing spot, but he's very, very expensive. Kopecky, who we actually played against, he was on loan at Brentford last season in the Championship, so he was very good for them. Now back at Bournemouth and not playing all that much. There's quite a few different players around at different levels that we might look at if they go on the market, if we can get them for reasonable pricing. We do have money to work with, but I just don't want to force anything at the moment. We've got ourselves into a good position. We don't need to change a tremendous amount other than those 2 additions just to give us more depth. But we'll see how it plays out. You know what I'm like. I might eventually just buy 15 different 18-year-old Argentine players for no reason. And I keep buying Uruguayan players for whatever reason as well. Bought 4 left wingers and then decided to play with inverted wingers instead. So anything could happen. I could come back in next Monday's episode and everything has completely changed. But like I always say, thank you so much for watching. That is the part that I appreciate the most. If you want to go that extra mile, you can drop a like on this video, you can subscribe to the channel, you can follow us over on Twitter, you can check out our Sunday night Twitch streams Sunday morning if you're in the UK. But like I said at the start, I just appreciate you guys watching. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.